Buckle up. You are listening to Musicians and Beyond, where we bring you the backstage info on the life, lyrics, and long journeys of the music industry. We are at episode number 41, and we have a incredible guest calling in from warm California.
Yes.
Yeah, what's the temperature there?
Ooh, it's actually kind of chilly today. It's really sunny and beautiful, but it's been like maybe 60s.
Oh my God, that's chilly. Well, here in New England, the
Ah,
Arctic tundra of New England, we are expecting 20-degree below zero wind chills.
no.
Yes,
My
yes. So,
neck.
I'm sorry, I don't really feel bad for you.
I know.
So to our listeners, we have Chloé Caroline with us today, and she's a singer, songwriter, and an incredible all-around woman. So welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. What an entrance. I love that.
Thank you. You like the little airplane bell and everything? Yeah.
Yes, I love the extra added creativity.
It's all about the branding. So you were born in Manhattan Beach, California.
hmm
And is that where you still are now?
So I'm in Redondo. Well, basically, it's so there's like three little beach towns: Manhattan Beach, Hermosa Beach, and Redondo Beach. They make up an area called the South Bay, which is about 15 minutes south of LAX, if anybody's familiar with that area.
Oh, cool.
But
And you've been around music all your life since you were born.
yeah. I grew up in a super musical household. My great grandpa was a singer. My grandfather had his own radio show, and then my dad was in bands forever and was also a music supervisor. So I just was immersed in music since forever. My dad would take me to his rehearsals as a little baby.
Excellent, excellent. So is that why you got into music?
I think it was definitely, it's one of those things where, yes, it like runs in my genes and in my blood, but my sister is a nurse and she can sing. Everybody in my family can sing, but like for me, I was always drawn, and I feel like in a different way than she was, I guess. For me, it's always been a little bit deeper. Even when I was like 5, I felt like I was like understanding lyrics that would go above most kids' heads. Like I just, yeah, for me, it's touched like a part of my soul.
Right, right. And then when you were 11 years old, you
hmm
had a big earth-shattering medical
yeah.
problem or incident. And
hmm
that kind of, you turned a terrible situation. So it's very inspirational. You turned a terrible inspiration into something positive. And because of your medical condition, you
hmm
learned how to play the guitar.
Yeah, I really did. So basically when I was 11, I had to drop out of my 6th grade year, not drop out, but go on independent study. I was in and out of the hospital and very isolated from my friends, trying to figure out what was going on. And in that time, I'd always been a songwriter. I mean, I'd been literally writing songs since I was 6. Obviously I was still a very normal little kid. It was for fun. It was just kind of random. But I started writing more poetry, and then would wanted to find a way to like, we didn't have, the technology that you have now. Yes, I had like a computer, and I could, eventually I got a Facebook page and stuff like that, but like I didn't have like a phone to record voice memos on or anything like that. So I was like, well, I better teach myself guitar, because although I can play piano, I don't know, I loved the idea of being able to bring the guitar wherever I went, right? Could bring it up to my bedroom and kind of like hide away in
Right.
there. And I went on YouTube and I taught myself how to play.
Wow. And you really mastered it.
Oh, thank you.
Right.
I always still feel like I'm like at the same level, but it's one of those things where you gotta keep going for it. I'm such a songwriter that when I start playing guitar, I just start writing songs. So I get really bored when I try to like advance to like a cool lick or like learning a new weird chord. I'm just like, oh, this would be cool for a song. And I get distracted.
Well, obviously you did well because you got 16 plus music videos out there. You have tons of songs written. About how many?
Oh my gosh. I don't even know. I probably can't put a number on it. Like hundreds of songs.
Hundreds of songs, yeah. And you're out there. Some of your songs are like 1 million downloads or close to.
Yeah, yeah, recently my song Gemini has been in like nationwide retail, and they've been playing it about, yeah, like 1 million plays or whatever,
Yeah,
impressions.
yeah, that's super impressive. I mean,
Thank you. I still haven't heard it in the store. I feel like I'll get like random messages from either fans or friends or whatnot, being like, I'm in Jersey Mike's and I heard your song," and I'm like, why can't I hear my song?
right, right. There must be nothing like driving down the road and just all of a sudden, oh, and here is Chloé Caroline.
No, I'm still waiting for that day.
Huh? It will come.
Thank you.
Well, actually, as long as everyone else hears it, right?
It's true. That's true,
You know
honestly.
what you know what you sound like.
Yeah.
So great. You are basically kind of deemed the way people describe you as an old soul, but at the same time, they say you're ahead of your time. So, what in the world does that mean?
Yeah, that is kind of contradictory, huh?
Very.
Like I said, like yeah, as a like as a little girl, I was always very, affected by music and lyrics and writing and stories and in a way that was like beyond my understanding, probably, or most kids' understanding. And so I just feel like that's kind of the old soul in me. I grew up really resonating with stuff that, was from the 60s and 70s and this classic, timeless sort of music. But at the same time, I've always been like trying to like, listen to what's going on now and what's new. And obviously there's things that I like from the present day. And so I love this combination of taking, the past and the present and turning into something that nobody else is doing, or taking, something that's organic and mixing it with something that's more electronic. And you just always get this really cool combination when things don't necessarily belong together. And I kind of have hated trying to like fit in a box forever. So I'm like, let's create something new.
Right. Well, just listening to your music, you're not in one box. You have a real eclectic collaboration of music. And,
Oh, thank you.
it's really impressive. And I think that all of our listeners should check you out. And
Thank you.
if our listeners wanted to find out like where you're going to be playing or your downloads or any music or anything that's going on, where would they get all that info?
Yeah, so I have a website, chloecaroline.com, but I feel like a lot of people are on social media mostly now. So if you just go to Instagram at Chloé Caroline, I'm on TikTok at I'm Chloé Caroline, Twitter, Facebook page, Chloé Caroline Music. And then I also have my number in all of my bios of all my social media. And so if fans text that number, it's actually me. It really is not a robot. And I will update you because it tells me, where you live and stuff. So yeah, I'll let you know if I'm in your area, new songs that are coming out, if you just want to chat in general.
Excellent. Excellent. So you had a lot of support as a child going into music because everyone around you was a musician.
Sure. Yeah.
But everyone doesn't have that that ability. I mean, there's a lot of kids that are interested in music
Yeah.
in families and so forth. No one knows anything about it, or there's not much inspiration. What would you tell a kid that really wants to be a musician that doesn't have any support?
Yeah. I would say, honestly, look at the people that inspire you and look at their stories. And there are so many people that have also come from either nothing or no background in music, that the key to them succeeding was the fact that they just kept doing it like every day, like, and even me, like, yes, my dad was a songwriter. That's helpful, but at the end of the day, it takes me sitting in my room or making time to write, to learn how to play, to go out there and do it. And obviously there are some people whose maybe their parents want them to become a doctor, a lawyer, follow that path. And while I totally understand that, I think that if music's like in your soul, you're going to do it no matter what. You're going to find a way to do it no matter what. And that was always kind of my thing, is like, I went to college, I got a business degree, and given, the emphasis was music business. I was in Nashville, I was surrounded by musicians, but at the same time, like, there was the opportunity to do a songwriting major or a music major. And my dad was like, if you really want to do this, you're going to do it, and you're going to find a way to do it. And so I was like, okay. And so I did. I got the business degree, but I also was booking sessions, and I was cold emailing people to go intern at their publishing company and stuff like that. So if you want it, you'll definitely go after it. But I would just say, definitely, look at your heroes for sure. They inspire you for a reason.
Correct. And what's interesting about what you just said is you have a song out there. It's called Twin Flames. And basically it's about something different, but the same message is out there about what you just told, go for your dreams, how things come together. Let's play Twin Flames for our listeners. And then when we come back, maybe you can tell us what it's about, how you wrote it, and all that. So let's listen.
We started as strangers, ignoring the dangers, the runners, the chasers, the sinners and saviors. Something was different, felt so much safer, and we took a chance on our human behavior.
Alrighty, that was Chloé Caroline. Make sure you follow her on all her social media and follow Musicians and Beyond as well. Chloé, could you tell us a little bit about that song? It's really making a hit right now. It's up and coming.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so I really wrote that song in general to celebrate partnership, connection, and definitely in regards to romance, but back to our prior conversation, and just in life in general, you're never completely alone. And especially in this world, there's so many different ways to connect with people. And it's so, so valuable and so, so important. And, for me, as I've always kind of walked the beat of my own drum. And so I have to remind myself that it's okay to ask for help, to want to share your life with people, and have that support. And for me, I was definitely inspired by my own relationship for sure. I had spent over like a year intentionally alone. I had a prior long-term relationship that I had ended and really needed that time. But I finally got to the place where, I was ready for that next step with somebody again. And I ended up meeting my boyfriend quite a cosmic way, who literally showed up at one of my shows. And it was one of those things where I kind of was like, this time, I want this to be like two individuals coming together as this team and, working together and choosing each other every day. It's a daily choice. It's not one of those things where you are locked in at any point. You're free. It should make you freer. And people get so terrified of commitment because they feel like it's going to hold them back. And if it's the wrong relationship, it will. But yeah, it should definitely make you freer. It should definitely inspire you to be the best version of yourself. And that's kind of what the song is about.
Okay, so the title of it is Twin Flames. So what you're saying, how does that, how can you draw the picture of twin flames? I'm picturing two flames coming together.
Yeah, I mean, and it literally is, but really so you guys have probably all heard of soulmates. It's a very common term. So a twin flame in kind of the spiritual world is two souls, one soul split between two bodies. And it's kind of this phenomenon where, we all have a bunch of different soulmates, but we have one twin flame. And this person is essentially they share the same energy as us. It's crazy concept, but if you've experienced anything like it, this person is almost the identical version of you, which is kind of crazy, and it causes a lot of maybe I don't want to say tension at first, but it forces you to become the best version of yourself because you're mirrors of each other. So your biggest insecurities, your biggest fears, blockages, they are constantly being mirrored. And so you guys kind of break through them individually and then eventually together.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah. And it's supposed to
I won't tell him, but the guy you're with now, is he your twin flame?
Yes, he is. And it's crazy. We have had insane parallels in our lives, and it's wild. I definitely encourage people to look it up. But people oftentimes get confused too, and twin flames, because they have that mirroring, sometimes get misconstrued into being a toxic relationship, and it never is supposed to be toxic.
Right.
Never. Definitely.
Isn't it wonderful when you find the right person?
Yes.
I'm very lucky myself. So,
I love that.
and she puts up with me. So
yeah. I love love. You just have to learn how to create space for each other and communicate your needs and your love languages. And that was one of our first conversations, was kind of who are you? What do you want? What do you need? And how can I be compatible with that?
yeah, so it's a real deep song, when you really listen to it. So I recommend that everyone downloads that on every streaming platform that's out there.
Oh,
again, it's called Twin Flames, and thank you for explaining that for us. Not only do you do music, but you've been in commercials and on TV and all that. Yeah. Tell us some of that stuff. Don't be shy.
So it all kind of started. I mean, I've always kind of had a goal to have this multifaceted creative career because it makes me a better musician. Absolutely, being able to have my music in movies or TV or write for that. That's so cool. But, I got an opportunity to be in a Hallmark movie back in 2018, and I'd never acted in my life. And I randomly got the audition because they had seen my music video, which was on like Disney Channel. And they were like, does she act? And we were like, yes, I do. And so,
Sure, I do.
yeah, and I kind of just went for it. And that whole experience was so awesome. They ended up using like 6 of my songs, but the cast was amazing. Kelly Rutherford, Cameron Matheson, the director was incredible, Lee. And after that experience, I was like, well, this was really fun. Why not? It's pushing me outside of my comfort zone. And so at that point, I was already moving back to LA from Nashville and decided that I was going to, try to find an agent and also do that too. And so, yeah. I've done some commercials and writing my own short film right now, one with my boyfriend, but also writing another full-length film as well. So it's a lot of fun, and it definitely breaks me out of like the shell that I do have somewhere in me sometimes. I'm very outgoing, but there is, it's something that I'm still learning to get even more comfortable with, because I've been a singer and a songwriter my whole life.
Right. Well, sometimes to be successful, you have to leave your comfort zone.
Oh yeah. My song Ready, that's literally what it's all about. Most of my songs are about that, actually.
Well, if you don't leave your comfort zone, you're on a treadmill, really. I mean,
Yeah.
you're doing the same stuff over and over and over.
100%.
If you leave your comfort zone, I mean,
Yeah.
people have ideas all the time, all these inventors and so forth.
Yeah.
I mean, for every idea that's out there, I bet you 0.5% of the people actually go on to the next step to, pursue what they had. Oh,
Yeah.
they should have this to make this easier or whatever,
Sure.
invention or whatever. But
Right.
you have to leave your comfort zone.
You do, because you don't know what's on the other side. And obviously that's terrifying because people assume it's going to be failure. But it's like urging you to think, well, what if it's not? Or even if it is, okay, well, trusting that that's going to lead to something else, or be a building block to something else.
But it's not really failure.
No, exactly. It's not failure. It's
Zone,
just,
but
it's perception of whatever, sure. Okay. Let's say I audition for something and I don't get the role. It's not necessarily failure. It might be like, okay, I didn't land the role. I could perceive that as failure if I wanted to, but I could also perceive it as, okay, well, I had this opportunity to audition for this role and get better, and maybe I didn't get that one for a reason, because I'm supposed to get the one after that, and
Exactly.
it would have conflicted, and there's a better one. And just believing that, it's obviously like a very positive way to think, but I feel like it's how you align with the things that you're supposed to align with. And why would you sit there and worry about the failure more so? It's like, that's just, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Well, it's the law of attraction in action. I mean, if you concentrate on the failure,
Yeah.
you attract the failure to you. So you just kind of take every opportunity and turn it into a positive. And that's what you've done. And you mentioned that you were on Radio Disney, but you've been on the Disney Channel, Nickelodeon, MTV, I believe, if that's.
Yeah, I had a song, my song 94, it's coming out on the part 2 of my EP later this year, but that was in a show called Catfish.
Excellent. In some commercials, I think around Christmas time, I heard your little voice in some kind of a wine commercial. Is that?
Yes, Stella Rosa. It was so much fun. Yeah, I got a random DM being like, do you want to be in a Stella Rosa commercial? I was like, yes.
Why not? Right? Take
genuinely
every opportunity that comes your way.
Exactly. You just never know.
That is great. And we talked a little bit earlier that you also have, you're a co-host of a podcast, and it's called Unwritten.
Yes.
My God, you really are into everything.
Yeah, it's too much sometimes, but I'm like, whatever, I gotta do it. I have a podcast. It's similar to you in the sense it's unedited. It's very unedited, very raw. That was kind of my goal with it, because I didn't want it to become work. I know that I have a bunch that I'm managing, and so I wanted it to just be like these great conversations that I'm already having with people. And I kind of was sitting there one day like, who's to say that your neighbor doesn't have a really great piece of advice, and having it be that like safe space for whoever to talk about whatever. Obviously, we usually take a specific topic, and we'll have 3 parts, and part 1's me and my co-host Shawn, who's on the other coast up in Canada, and we'll talk about it, and then we'll bring on somebody else that we choose, and then the third one is a self-submitted guest.
Excellent. Yeah, that sounds cool. I'm gonna have to check that out because I'm fairly new to podcasts. We've been doing this about a year, and kind of started as a hobby, and now it's turned into a job. We've been broadcast in over 32 countries.
That's amazing.
And we have like huge names
Yeah.
on here, and it's all music based. We've had, musicians, some that have sold 10 million albums. The other night, we had, Pat Badger from the band Extreme popped by and, did a little recording, and we set up a date. We're going to do a whole episode on him. And, some big names. We're working with a guy, Gary Chef, not Gary. I'm going to have to edit that. We have, we're working with the guy, Ernie Sheffalou, and he is a graphic designer.
Wow.
But he is the guy that designed the original Rolling Stones tongue.
No way. See, that's so
And
cool.
he's done 250 something album covers and a lot of corporate work. So we're doing a 12-part documentary on him.
Oh, that's amazing.
He is a California guy as well. And it's really cool. He actually sent me a hand-drawn Rolling Stones tongue. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like the dude who came up with the first one sent one to me. We're having a ball talking to people like you and, networking and setting one musician up with another, or, people that listen. So it's great. So
that's what it's about. It's about connecting people, and I feel like so grateful to share my story, whether it's on your podcast or getting to have other people's stories and share mine right back. It's the coolest thing. And you're a perfect example, obviously, of somebody who's like, let's just go for it, because you never know. Like, if you didn't, you wouldn't be here right now. We wouldn't. And
I got to tell you, when we started, I didn't know what any of these buttons did. I just put stuff and I had no idea. And I like to think that I've
so inspiring.
brought it to a different level.
Yes. You got airplane sound.
Exactly. Bing bong. So, once you broke through the little barrier of getting an audition or a job with someone notable, it kind of opens the doors for so much more.
Oh yeah.
So you did the wine company, all kinds of things. And now, you're connected to like Toyota, Corona Beer, Stella Rosa, Moonglow. You've done, it's really, really cool. And it gives you some legitimacy.
Oh, thank you.
I've done it for this. So once the ball gets rolling, I think we're going to hear a lot more about you and from you and all that.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm very excited. I just recently released a line that I helped create with Moonglow, and they're inspired by my own songs. So
excellent. That's kind of cool. I'm going to have
you gotta check
great Valentine's Day gifts for
it would be
the 5 girls that live in my house.
Yes, please. I'll send you the link. They're really cool pieces. I love
Absolutely. Absolutely. So is there anything else that you want to touch on and tell our listeners?
Yeah, I mean, I have so much coming. I have another single, which I'm not exactly sure when you're airing this, but it's coming out February 10th. It's called Afraid of the Dark. It's literally about trusting the unknown per our conversation. This is like a very specific story in regards to, like I said, the cosmic one of how I met my boyfriend, but it definitely can apply to anybody who's afraid of the unknown. And, we've all kind of heard of perfect alignment and in the right place and right time, and trusting that is like inevitable. If we just continue to be in the present moment and trust. And so that's essentially that song, but that comes out February 10th. And then yeah, I have a couple more, and then I'm releasing the first EP, first part of the EP, March 20th.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And
So
then another EP after.
so for all of our listeners, go to chloecaroline.com and you can find out all the information. All of her music is available on every major platform. She does have a YouTube channel, and I recommend to check out her 16 plus music videos, and check her out. And I think you're going to be really impressed, and we're going to hear a lot from her in the future.
Aw, thank you.
Yeah.